in this time of year when we're thinking about, I mean, Thanksgiving is a day of abundance, and it was kind of to celebrate abundance in a sense.
God's provision and blessing.
But not everyone experiences abundance. You know, I just want to give a shout out, first of all, if you're alone on this Thanksgiving Day, thanks for joining us. I hope you know that you are never alone. And none of us live the ideal, perfect life that everyone thinks about when they think about the perfect Thanksgiving meal and family and all of that. So, you know, if you're feeling alone today, you need someone to reach out to, give our prayer lines a call. You know, we're here for you. You don't have to go through this day alone. You know, and when you're thinking about helping people through this season and people who don't have as much, I love this article I read about an urban garden right here in Hamilton, Ontario.
Okay.
And I love urban gardens. You know, it's kind of like taking this empty lot next to a factory and turning it into this beautiful garden, and it reaches out to refugees, so people who are new to this country.
That's great.
And I love this quote because there's something so like fall about it. You know, it's a great way to welcome refugees to be rooted here by sticking their hands among the roots in the soil and seeking to grow something new. It's almost like a picture, right?
Double meaning.
Yeah, and they cook together. They don't just plant and they don't just work on the garden, but they actually cook together. And many times they're sharing recipes back and forth. They're trying that great Middle Eastern food we talked about with George and Greg in the first half, which I love. You know, it's just a way to like have community around food, which I think food and community are tied.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I think about the whole farm to table movement that's been happening, more agricultural, more like direct to table. And I think that, you know, a lot of immigrants, and not all, but a lot of newcomers have come from an agricultural mindset sometimes. And so to come to a country where you just go to the supermarket and you pick up your apples and whatever, you know, that might be foreign to some of them. So to have that connection where you can go to a garden and you can get your fresh vegetables, I think it's a great idea.
You're so right. When I first went to the developing world, you know, my dad in his retirement became an organic farmer. And I always teased him about it because, you know, he grew up as a chartered accountant, so, or he was, not grew up, but that was his career. So I was like, wow, you're a farmer now, Dad, okay. But you know, when I came back, I said thank you, because in the developing world, farming is life and death. It is the difference between living and dying. And I see the importance of it. And we're so far away from farming now because of the grocery store thing. I just, you know, I just had such a heart of appreciation to the people who grow food for us, because we don't realize how that's literally keeping us alive.
No, that's a great story.
I mean, I've often wondered what it must be like for a person coming from a part of the world, whether it's Syria or Iraq or Iran, a place where, you know, Thanksgiving isn't even celebrated, and they come here and they get invited into somebody's home. I really want to encourage, if you haven't invited somebody, it's probably not too late. There's probably somebody you can still invite over even today. They'd be happy to come over. But could you imagine coming from a place where there's hardly anything, and then you show up at this table and it's just filled with food? Like, what a sense that must be for that person of like,
I often think about that. You know, I've been in places in the world, Turkana in particular, where we're working, where people are literally starving. And I think about, like, what would they think if they saw this table? I can't help thinking these things, you know? And I remember talking to someone in Haiti who came to Canada for the first time, and when they walked down the dog food aisle, dog and cat food, and saw gourmet food and clothes for your dog and everything, they started weeping in the grocery store. And they said, you take care of your pets better than we take care of our children. And that just broke my heart. I cannot go past that aisle anymore without thinking about the developing world and just the privilege we have, like that, just a surplus where we can have gourmet food for our dog.
I remember a number of years ago being in Haiti on Thanksgiving, and this was just literally 9 months after the earthquake, and just being there, and again, you've been there, and just walking down the streets and seeing just all of, you know, people literally with nothing, you know, and I've shared this story many, many times of just sobbing as I saw people that looked just like me and thinking, like, I know that my family is just across, you know, not very far. Haiti's only about 3-4 hours away, not even.
I know,
and they're around a table and enjoying a great meal and knowing that there are people not that far away that have absolutely nothing. If that does not just, you know, give you a reality check, I don't know what will.
And that's the thing, we can't just be thankful. It's good to be thankful and be grateful for all that we have, because we are blessed, but it has to go a little bit further. We have to be thankful, and then we have to share what we have. Because I honestly believe the privilege that God's given us here in the Western world is not just for us to enjoy, but we have a responsibility to leverage our privilege on behalf of others and share with the world.
Change the world,
Absolutely. What did Jesus say? You know, to him whom much is given, much is required. And if you give a cup of cold water in my name, he said, you know, and if you give a cup of cold water to the least of these, it's like you've done it to me. And what a beautiful illustration, especially today, of all days on Thanksgiving. And I'm hearing all what you're saying, and I get it, I understand it. I've gone down the aisles too and said, oh God, look at all we have. What a time to be thankful. Thank God for this country. Thank God for the freedoms. Thank God for the provision that we have in this country. I don't know about you, but today I'm feeling extra thankful. That's why I'm wearing an orange tie.
You know what? I'm thankful to Canada. It's one of the things I'm the most proud about being in this country. It's a generous country. The very root of us, you know, when there's a tragedy in the world, we give like nobody else. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for your generosity and your heart. I think sometimes we worry about where the money goes, but when we have faith and the money goes to the people, man, we'll give everything. And that's a wonderful thing to be thankful for.
Yeah, it's about putting perspective into everything.